got my warm-up for the day, ready for some training today. We're gonna be doing some basic Panantukan combinations. That's our empty hand fighting skills from the art of Kali. If you're excited for today's training, please do me a quick favor. Number 1, hit that thumbs up button right now. Number 2, smash that subscribe button. Number 3, click that bell so that way your notifications are turned on so you do not miss any training video, any new video that I've got here at the Kali Center YouTube channel. And here's the next thing, number 4, head over to KaliApex.com and check out my super sweet deal that I have going on right now where you can get full access to everything on my online training school, all at half price. So head over to KaliApex.com, got the link right down in the description below, and let's go ahead and get to today's combinations. For today's training, we're taking a look at some basic Panantukan striking combinations. Panantukan, this is the empty hand fighting skills of Kali, or the striking portion. All right, sometimes it's referred to as Panantukan or Suntukan or Pangamut. There's a lot of different names that describe this depending on what style or system that you're studying or that you're coming from. But in Kali, there are 3 different sectors of empty hands. There's the striking, which we're going to be focusing on some basics today. There's the grappling or the dumog, which is like the wrestling. And then there's the kicking or the sakaran. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Panantukan or the Pangamut. And there's 2 different methods inside of our striking. We have our closed fist strikes and we have our open-handed striking methods. Both of these striking methods both contain of diagonal strikes, linear strikes, lateral strikes, and they both also contain the close quarter heavy artilleries of the elbows, the knees, the headbutts, and different tools and techniques just like that. So let's have some fun with some basics, mixing it up. We're gonna do a little bit of closed fist, we'll do a little bit of open hand, we'll do a little bit of mixing up the combinations. When we're training our empty hands in Kali with all the different combinations that are possible, we want to make sure that we are training them in the right lead and also in the left lead. It's really important that we are ambidextrous with our empty hand skills. The initial training of this ambidexterity comes from the double weapons, especially like the 2 sticks or the 2 knives, 2 equal length weapons. And then we take that skill, we take those attributes, and then we apply them to the empty hands. So let's go ahead and work with combination, our first combination today. Very, very simple. We're gonna take it in the right lead first, train it in both leads. From here, we're gonna start off with our linear strikes. We're gonna come out with that jab, that rear hand straight, and then we're gonna go ahead and shovel hook right to the body. So 1, 2, and 3 right there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that we're paying attention to some technical points. We want to make sure that we're striking our jab and our cross, our rear hand, as straight as possible. We don't want these things to be flaring out. We want the elbows to be straight, coming straight out, straight back in, kind of like you're striking in this little tube right here. Okay, and then same thing, we're gonna pop this shovel hook, body shot, right out of the hip, bop, right there. Okay, so we keep those nice and tight. And at the same time, you're gonna see how the shoulder rolls up to protect the jawline. Okay, we don't wanna be striking like this, where we're leaving the jawline and the neck open. Okay, we wanna make sure that we are tucking that, and even when we're striking to the body like that, 1, 2, 3, that we have as much protection covering the jawline and the neck as possible. This is really important because in the empty hands of Kali, we might be fighting another empty-handed person. We might have multiple opponents. There might be a weapon that gets introduced into the situation. So we're always looking at protecting ourselves as best as possible. Just kind of keep that in mind. Let's go and turn over to Bob and get a few reps in of this combination on Dirty Bob. So one of the things I like to do when I'm training with Bob is I like to change his position a little bit. So typically when I'm training weaponry stuff with him, I'll have him kind of bladed right here. You know, his right 45, right side is forward and all that. And I also will do this with the empty hands. So that way it's like simulating he's in a right lead. Sometimes I'll switch it over, simulate that he's in a left lead. Okay, but just for today, just for the simplicities, I'll kind of square them off. That way it's just kind of, you know, I can work both sides off of that. But when you're training, if you have a Bob or something kind of like that, you know, you can orient him and kind of mimic those different leads and those different structural positions. All right, so from here we got 1, 2, and 3 right there. Just start nice and slow on your combinations, especially if this is new to you. You don't have to be trying to, you know, blast out as fast and as powerful as you can right out of the gate. Just start off nice and easy, get a feel for it, get the coordination down first. 1, 2, and 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, a second little tip when you guys are training this stuff, especially with some impact training, because you have that targeting. If you're training this with bob, a heavy bag, tire stack, anything that you're striking, make sure that as you're striking this, okay, that you're not dropping your eyes. You got to make sure that you're looking through your brow, so that way you can keep an eye on what's going on up here. Okay, so sometimes when I'm teaching this stuff, especially to newbies, they'll kind of start dropping their eyes quite a bit. You know, especially when they start coming to these low shots right here. But now you can't see what might be raining over you or attempting to rain over you on top. So make sure that you're looking through your brow, boom, right there. And that way you got some good awareness going on, good observation as best as possible. Let's take the same exact punches but mix up the combination a little bit. This is gonna kind of work out that coordination a little bit differently. So we're gonna go into our jab, and then we're gonna go to the body shot, and then that rear straight hand right there. So 1, 2, 3. Or the count in order would be 1, 3, 2 right there. 1, 3, 2. And again, work that off on the other side. Boom, bop, bop right there. 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2 right there. Just get the hands. We'll come back at another time and work some of the different footworks in there and all that stuff. And then, you know, I'll get a training partner out here. I'll get Tom or Ollie or someone out here. And then we could work these combinations with some different focusing drills and, you know, slips and working everything in there. But we're just working on the basics, getting the hands moving, understanding the structure and all that stuff. Let's go ahead, take this combo to Bob. All right, working it out. Start off nice and slow on your impact training. We got that jab, we got the body shot, and then we got that rear hand straight. So 1, 3, and 2 right there. 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2. Let's take a look at some of the open hand combinations that we can start working as well. One of the most basic, most powerful, fastest ones, we have our 1 slap, our 2 hack, followed up with our number 1 slap on the other side. This comes straight out of the double stick and double knives. 1, 2, and 1 right there. 1, 2, 1 right there. Okay, you could tighten them up as well. Obviously you can see that you can start really, you know, suppressing some fire here. Right there. All right, so we're striking number 1 slap. All right, the hand, fingers are loosely together. Hand is slightly cupped. And it's in the position, same position as if I was grabbing the stick. Okay, exact same position. Nothing super special right there. Slap them, come back with the forearm hack right there, and then give him another slap. Let's take it to Bob. Another empty hand striking combination. Let's go ahead and start working some elbow techniques just to mix it up a little bit. We're gonna come across with that horizontal elbow, downward diagonal, and then followed with another downward diagonal. Right? I like opening up with these horizontals because they're very versatile. They can be an offensive strike. They can also be used on the counter-offensive strikes as well, like the destruction system and things like that, or, you know, smashing through the guard and all kinds of things. So I like the horizontal to open with, but those downward diagonals really give you the biggest bang for your buck. Obviously you got gravity on your side, you got a larger striking surface with the diagonal strikes. There's a lot more protection there, right? And they just mess your opponents up. So from there we got 1, 2, 3, horizontal, diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, diagonal, diagonal. And then again, make sure to work that out on both sides, both leads, right and left. One of the most underrated things about elbow strikes is that you don't have to necessarily get this deep smash with your elbows. A lot of times, like if you've watched some different like Muay Thai fights and things, you might see that just a simple clip with the elbow, even right across the jawline, right? That can right there cause a knockout. You get that shift in the jaw and it can end up being lights out. So that's one of the kind of underrated parts about elbows, is that even those little grazes can do a lot of damage. They can cause knockouts, especially when it hits that jawline, but they can also really open up your opponent, you know, splitting the eyebrow and getting that blood pouring into their eyes. It doesn't take a whole lot, and they don't have to look like, you know, there's all this force going into it. It's just a high leverage part of that body, and that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love the elbow strikes. Let's take a look at how we can mix up some of these lines. Just like we have the slap and the hack right there of the open hands, we can also train both of these movements with our closed fists, which would be the hammer fists. Hammer fist on the forehand, hammer fist on the backhand. And you have that option to strike with the hammer of the fist or to strike with the forearm right there. So even if you were calculating to strike them with the hammer fist, but maybe they came in, you still strike them with the forearm right there, which is still a really good shot. There's a lot of power in there. There's still a lot of energy transfer through the forearm right there. So let's kind of have some fun with it. We're gonna go 1, 2, and then pop this rear hand, hit that body shot right there, and then follow it up with an elbow and an elbow right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikes right there in this final combination. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you can play around with your horizontal elbow and your diagonal elbows. I want to make sure you got some flexibility, so that way, you know, don't be afraid to explore and be creative in your training. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could also start playing around with a little bit of that clinch work, a little bit of that head work right there. Strike, strike, pop them, and then grab that head and sandwich them into the elbows right there. You can always add in headbutts, eye gouges, and then you can always go into throws and all kinds of really fun additional training. Start off with these few simple, basic Panentuken, Pangamut combinations, rep them out, and then start exploring by making your own combinations out of these movements, and then any other empty hand movements that you know. It's always a good idea to mix up your training with 2 different training methods. Number 1, training in the air, so that way you are working on the mechanical side of it. And then number 2, make sure that you have a heavy bag, a bob, something that you can work your impact training on, because there is conditioning to the body, obviously, that needs to be done with the empty hands. And it's really important to understand, right, what the impacts feel like and all that stuff, so that way you're building confidence in your empty hand techniques. All right, thanks so much for joining me in today's training on our empty hands, working out different Panentuken or closed fist, Pangamut, open hand, mixing everything up, and just training some basics with me for today. I'm gonna go ahead and get some work done in the garden. It's probably gonna start raining on me again, but that's all right. I always like training outside, working outside, whether it is sunshine, rain, or whatever. The camera doesn't like the rain, so I have to put that away, but I like training and working in the rain, in the sun, heat, cold, doesn't really matter. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the empty hands of Kali. I want to take it slow. I want to take it nice and easy, because I want these to be more instructional and things that you can learn off of. All right, so that's why, you know, I want to make sure I kind of take my time, and, you know, I don't want to give you like 100 combinations in one video. I want to just give you enough that you can go out and you got some training for the day, and you got some focus in your training for the day, and you could go have fun and explore. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the Kali Center channel, and also check out our second channel over at our Kali Apex, or the Kali Center channel number 2. Make sure to subscribe over there, because I've got some different excerpts and stuff from seminars and training camps and kind of other behind the scenes and other stuff that's going on over there. That content's a little bit different than the stuff that I put on this channel, so make sure to go check that out. I got all the links in the description below, And go grab that awesome deal that I have going on over at my online school over at KaliApex.com. And then get outside and go make nature your Kali dojo, and I'll see you next time. Well, what did I do?